Have you ever wondered how a man, born in a humble Russian village, could rise to a position of such influence, only to become a symbol of betrayal and infamy? This is the story of Andrey Andreevich Vlasov, a name etched in the annals of history, not for heroism, but for a path marred by controversy and treachery. World War II's most infamous traitor, the untold story of Andrey Vlasov. On the 22nd of June, 1941, the world was thrust into chaos. With 134 divisions ready for battle and 73 more waiting in reserve, Nazi Germany, under the codename Operation Barbarossa, unleashed its fury on the Soviet Union. The invasion, seen by Hitler as a means to secure Lebensraum or living space and to obliterate the communism he so despised, marked the beginning of a catastrophic chapter for the Soviets. Millions of soldiers were captured, subjected to starvation, disease, and brutality. Among them were those who, driven by desperation or disillusionment, chose to fight against their homeland. At the heart of this maelstrom stood General Andrey Vlasov, the highest-ranking officer to collaborate with the Nazis. Born on the 14th of September 1901 in the village of Lomachyno, Vlasov was the 13th child in a family that knew only poverty. His early years, marked by struggle and resilience, led him from a Russian Orthodox seminary to the battlefields of the Russian Civil War. By 1930, he had joined the Communist Party, and 5 years later, he walked the halls of the prestigious Frunze Military Academy. Vlasov's ambitions knew no bounds. His rise through the military ranks was swift, fueled by a blend of skill and opportunism. During the Great Purge, he served on military tribunals, witnessing firsthand the grim machinery of Soviet repression. Trusted by the political leadership, he was sent to China as a military advisor, where his service earned him honors, albeit confiscated upon his return. As the Second World War erupted, Vlasov commanded the 99th Rifle Division, transforming it into the finest in the Red Army. His ascent continued, and by January 1941, he led the 4th Mechanized Corps, positioned near the Ukrainian-Polish border. Then came the fateful day of June 22nd, when Nazi Germany invaded the Soviet Union. Despite Vlasov's valiant efforts, the German onslaught could not be halted. For his battlefield prowess, he was appointed commander of the 37th Army in Kiev, recommended by none other than Nikita Khrushchev. In the brutal struggle for Kiev, Vlasov managed a narrow escape from encirclement. Later, defending Moscow, his 20th Army halted the Wehrmacht's advance, a significant contribution to the Soviet counteroffensive. In April 1942, Vlasov took command of the 2nd Shock Army, tasked with breaking the siege of Leningrad. Success seemed within reach as his forces penetrated deep into German lines. Yet the lack of support from other Soviet units left them stranded. Starvation and despair set in, reducing soldiers to eating horses, tree bark, and leather. When retreat was finally allowed, it was too late. The 2nd Shock Army was decimated. Captured by the Germans in July 1942, Vlasov's fate took a dark turn. He agreed to collaborate, driven perhaps by vengeance against Stalin. In captivity, he formed an anti-Stalin committee, creating propaganda to demoralize Soviet troops. His most infamous act was the Smolensk Proclamation, condemning Stalin's regime and calling for Soviet soldiers to surrender. Vlasov's dream of leading the Russian Liberation Army took shape in 1944, under Heinrich Himmler's approval. The army, consisting of 10 divisions and its own air force, saw combat only briefly. In the war's final days, Vlasov's forces attempted to aid the Czech resistance, a desperate bid to curry favor with the Allies. But communist partisans turned on them, and Vlasov's hopes crumbled. Captured by the Red Army while trying to surrender to the Allies, Vlasov's end was sealed. In a closed trial, the verdict of high treason was predetermined. On the 1st of August, 1946, Vlasov and his fellow collaborators faced execution in a grim spectacle of prolonged suffering. And so, the ashes of Andrey Vlasov were scattered in an unmarked grave, a somber reminder of a man whose choices led him from the heights of military glory to the depths of betrayal. A tale woven with ambition, desperation, and the relentless march of history. As the ashes of Andrey Vlasov mingled with the dust of forgotten graves, the echoes of his choices reverberate through history. From humble beginnings to the heights of military command, and finally to the depths of infamy, his story is a haunting testament to the complexities of war and loyalty. In the end, Vlasov's legacy is a somber reminder that the paths we choose are often shadowed by the consequences we must face. Thank you for joining us on this journey through history. If you enjoyed this video, please like, subscribe, and click the bell notification icon so you won't miss any of our future episodes. Until next time, this is Epic History Facts, uncovering the past, one story at a time.